We're live. Oh. I messed up. Okay, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
What did I do with my paper? The Standing Committee for the Public Safety Committee will be called to order on Monday, April the 4th. It is now 4:05 p.m. virtually. Call to order, and we'll have the roll call. Alderwoman O'Neill.
Present.
Alderman Gay is on his way. All right, now we'll move approval of the agenda, and I want to make a slight change. I will be giving a very, very brief Annapolis United report prior to when we start. So Alderwoman O'Neill, can we amend the agenda to add that?
Yes, I make a motion to amend our agenda to add the reports.
All right, very brief. I second the motion. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
All opposed? I hear no nays. All righty, a few housekeeping things I want to go through first for our meeting tonight. To our Public Safety Committee members, I sent 2 emails to you, one dated March 26th, one dated April the 3rd, indicating that from 4 to 5 p.m., we will be addressing R-1522, and from 5 to 6 p.m., our Office of Community Services will be presenting. As you will recall, we have had 3 months of very robust presentations from each of our public safety teams, so far a total of 8 hours. And since our Office of Community Services is temporarily being supervised by OEM, then April is their month to present. Number 2, so we have a hard stop at 6 p.m. for this meeting. Number 3, before we get started, I have a brief update on Annapolis United. Number 4, regarding R-1522. Based upon the video from the city's Rules and City Government Standing Committee meeting held on Friday, April the 1st, 2022, there was very extensive and wide-ranging discussion and testimony information delivered and provided at that meeting regarding R-1522. Our Office of Law has indicated to me that we are not obliged to take public testimony at committee meetings, but nonetheless, so at this time, I am publicly indicating that on the record here at our Public Safety Standing Committee meeting today, that we will incorporate into the Public Safety Standing Committee meeting record today the testimony taken at the Rules and City Government Committee meeting on April 1st, 2022, and anyone who wishes to avail themselves of additional and wide-ranging information regarding R-15-22 will be encouraged to view the Rules and City Government Committee meeting held on April the 1st. And as Alderman Gay and Alderman O'Neill know, on your April the 3rd email, I did indicate this to you all as well. So thank you. Number 5, also regarding R-1522. We will first hear this evening from our Assistant City Attorney, Ms. Carrie Berger, then from our Police Administrative Manager, Ms. Rhonda McCoy. Then we will entertain questions and comments from our Public Safety Committee members, Alderman Gay and Alderwoman O'Neill. Number 6, there will be a hard stop at 5 p.m. for R-1522, especially since Ms. Berger and Ms. McCoy will be attending the County Council meeting this evening regarding that issue. Number 7, and there will be a hard stop for our Office of Community Services presentation at 6 p.m. And number 8, again, a hard stop for this meeting at 6 p.m. Number 9, thank you as always for your understanding and cooperation. A very, very quick update on Annapolis United. My plan is to give you a report at every Public Safety Committee meeting and City Council meeting. We're looking at possibly some media links on our city's website. We're working on the Mayor's Initiative on Recreational and Education Program to reduce crime and juvenile delinquency here in the city of Annapolis, working on summer camps and trips. The Stop the Violence, APD's Protect and Serve bi-weekly community update. We had one on the 24th. We had one last Friday, and as a result, between the 24th and Friday, one person was captured on most wanted on a handgun and related charges. We also are working on community meetings we've had one with Eastport Civic Association, Ward 1, Park Place, Germantown Homewood is pending. Other communities are welcome to start scheduling. We're looking at community forums to get feedback from our residents as to what they would like to see as Stop the Violence initiatives. We're gonna have community PSAs. Like I said, we're working on summer camps, community and neighborhood events this summer. recruitment, police department, public service announcements from our 4 public safety teams, OEM, AFD, APD. We're looking at gathering up and implementing city police ambassadors, possibly some legislation, an Annapolis United Peace Walk. We're looking at business outreach. And so thank you so much for indulging me for that brief report. At this time, we will have business and miscellaneous approval of the minutes, PSC 030722. Can I get a motion to approve those minutes? And I see Alderman Gay is on. Thank you, Alderman Gay.
Make a motion to approve the minutes.
Can I hear a second? I will second. All in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
I hear no nays. We will move on to our legislation, resolutions R-15-22, and on the County Coalition for Police Accountability recommendations. Again, we will first hear from our city attorney, Ms. Berger, then from our police administrative manager, Ms. McCoy. Then we will entertain questions and comments from our public safety committee members, Alderman Gay and Alderwoman O'Neill. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Alderwoman. I just wanted to briefly address something on the issue of whether the police accountability boards have the investigatory and subpoena power. And I want this to sort of serve as a gentle reminder. There have been suggestions that the city council should follow the legal advice that's been given by outside attorneys, including the ACLU's attorney, because the city's Office of Law has some sort of perceived conflict of interest. So in light of that, I wanted to take this time to just remind the council members that are at this meeting or viewing this later, that there's no attorney-client relationship between the city council and the ACLU's attorney or any other attorney that does not work in the city's Office of Law. So what this means is outside attorneys, they really don't have an obligation, they have no obligation to be truthful or to provide sound legal advice to the city council on a matter that's being considered by the city council. But the attorneys in the Office of Law do have that obligation under Maryland law. So for example, the Maryland Rules of Professional Conduct for Attorneys states as follows, quote, in representing a client, an attorney shall exercise independent professional judgment and render candid advice, end quote. And the commentary for that rule is, quote, a client is entitled to straightforward advice expressing the attorney's honest assessment. Legal advice often involves unpleasant facts and alternatives that a client may be disinclined to confront. An attorney should not be deterred from giving candid advice by the prospect that the advice will be unpalatable to the client, end quote. So in other words, the Office of Law has a legal obligation to its clients and the city council in this regard to provide an honest legal analysis of a matter and the implications of any decision that's related to that matter. And to do otherwise could potentially jeopardize our legal license. So any assertion that the Office of Law has a conflict of interest or can't be objective in rendering legal advice is really an inaccurate one. Now, some members of the city council may not like the legal advice that we give on certain matters, but it's not our job to tell the client what the client wants to hear. We have a professional duty to provide candid legal advice based on an honest and independent assessment of the facts and circumstances. And that duty is one that we take really seriously. So I'm happy to answer any questions. I think at the order that you have things, Alderman Pendel-Charles, is that Rhonda McCoy may be speaking and then we can answer questions, but I just wanted to make the record really clear on that issue.
Thank you, Ms. Berger, because I would think, and this is my assumption, that would hamper any governmental legal agency, any governmental law office from rendering advice to any of their clients, whether it's the Attorney General's office on the state side, the county attorney's office on the county side. No one would be able to accept legal advice. So taking it down to its logical degree, am I incorrect or correct?
You're correct.
Thank you. Alderman Gay, do you have a question regarding the conflict of interest as Ms. Berger has indicated?
Thank you, Madam Chair, for allowing me the opportunity to speak, and my apologies for being late, and my apologies for not being able to be present on camera. I'm currently out of town right now. I just wanted to obviously
wait a minute, something's happening.
Can you hear me now?
Start again, please. Okay, start again.
Yeah, no, I wanted to first by saying and apologizing really to the city attorney.
There's some scratching going on or something, Alderman Gay. I don't know.
You better now?
Yes.
Okay. No, I said I wanted to apologize to the assistant city attorney, who I have a lot of respect for, both personally and professionally, for what took place last week. And I've had an opportunity to speak with her and, made it clear, at least from my perspective, that there was never any intention to undermine what I don't have, and that's a law degree that she has. And I understand her opinion was written, in fact, based off of what she's read and how it was interpreted by the Office of Law. And that's what they are supposed to do, give us guidance. And I hope I made that clear last week as well. The one thing that I did mention, as the city attorney, Mike Lyles, always mentions, is that the city council can sometimes be their worst enemy, and we vote against the legal opinions the Office of Law have provided for us. And so I obviously respect her legal opinion and what she brings to the city council. I slightly disagreed on some of what was written, and she's made clear to me that some of what I was advocating for has been passed and could potentially be discussed tonight. And so still, I hope to be a champion for this legislation, but I also want to set clear boundaries of respect for an attorney, a practicing attorney, because again, I don't have a law degree. And so wanted to make that clear.
Thank you, Alderman Gay. I appreciate your candor. Ms. Berger, any follow-up?
Nope, just thank you, Alderman Gay, for what you just said.
We really do appreciate it, Alderman Gay. We wish we all could be as forthright. Thank you so much. Next is Ms. McCoy, our Police Administrative Manager. Ms. McCoy.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
I just wanted to bring some clarity to the sequence of events. First, I want to let the council, the full council, know that as far as the county council meetings went, the first meeting did not occur on March 21st. It actually occurred on March 7th. At that time, there were 48 amendments to the bill. Before that occurred, numerous groups were given previews of what the legislation would be. And then it was set at its first open meeting on March 7th. 35 amendments were debated at that time. Many of the groups asked were not contested by the county executive's office at that time. There were some, which Ms. Berger highlighted, that she felt legally, and along with the county council and county office of law, that could not be passed because of the law. Another thing that I would like to state is that we still don't know what a cost is going to be. So I would say to individuals who keep saying that there will be no cost, they cannot say that right now, because we haven't entered into those discussions, because we need to, quite frankly, get the law passed and then talk about budgeting. Right now, the county has not asked us for costs, but I can't say that they won't. The assessment that I gave for what it could cost is what I'm going to stand by. That's what it could cost. Could they ask us for these things? Yes, they could. Could they say that they're going to eat all costs in relation to this? They could. I just can't know that. You can't know that until we get past the law, and then we get down into budgeting, and we get down into logistics. Another thing that I would like to highlight is that July 1st is looming when this bill comes, when the law becomes in effect. We have a very short turnaround to build logistics, like the budgeting, like systems that we need. Like our computer system doesn't talk to theirs right now. All of that needs to be built. Rules need to be written. I don't know how I get work to them. They don't know how they get work back to me. And all of this needs to be done in a short order of time, July 1st. We don't have a whole lot of time. I am hoping that the count in tonight that we work through some of that we get through the amendments and that we can, get a bill passed, because I am afraid that we won't have a system come July 1st. And so I really want to highlight that.
Thank you, Ms. McCoy. Alderman Gay or Alderwoman O'Neill, do either one of you have questions? I think Alderwoman O'Neill is transitioning.
Should
Alderman
I go first or?
Yeah, go right ahead. I think she was transitioning from one meeting in person to a virtual. So yes, go right ahead.
Yeah, my question as for Ms. McCoy as it relates to the cost, and maybe this is a finance question. Again, I really don't know if it's the appropriate setting, but we did discuss at length a number of projects that'll be coming up in this budget. How do you estimate? How do you think that we will handle the costs for the department, and particularly considering the police department's budget is even ballooning due to staff? Is that something that the police department is expecting to come out of maybe one-time use funds or the American Rescue Plan dollars?
What I can tell you is that I requested, some items within the budget. And of course, I have no standing to say where they come from, just to make the request. Some of the costs are one-time costs. They're not all ongoing costs, but some are ongoing costs. Right now, currently, we had to have a system, a public-facing portal for people to make complaints and then follow their complaints. The law is very specific in that. And we have already began to stand that up. That right now is at a cost of $20,000.
So, could a system, for example, planning and zoning uses e-track-it? Are there systems like that the police department could use that would, you said you've been doing the research, it's at about $20,000. So is it similar to a platform like that?
Yes, sir. The law is very specific in that the system must do certain things. And so we already had a computer system from a company we had a contract with to give us that public-facing portal that provides for all the mandates in the law. It was an additional $20,000.
Awesome. Okay. I look forward to the budget process. And yeah, definitely. Obviously, because I'm supportive of the legislation, I'll support finding ways to pay for it. And I know the general public does not maybe want to hear that because it will be expensive. But again, I think it'll go a long way in helping build some of the trust in our communities and assist with, the mission of the police department, with which Chief Jackson and yourself and Deputy Bradford and the staff really have been doing a good job of trying to transition to a more community-based approach. And so I'm excited. Maybe not about the price tag, but about the end value.
Okay, Alderwoman O'Neill, do you have any questions of Ms. Berger or Ms. McCoy?
My question is, as a newer member of council, an unfunded mandate coming from the state. Can you give me an example of another time when an unfunded mandate has come before us and how we were able to work through that? Obviously knowing that our budgets are very tight already.
I can't give you an example of that because I've recently started here at APD. I've been here for about a year. But this was a massive ask from the state. And you're not the only person or entity. Other council persons around the state and counties are asking the same question. We took on questions last time we were in on the 21st of March about the structure of what the state had proposed. But this is kind of, I would have to say, unprecedented in that it's so much that was unfunded.
Hey, Rhonda, can I chime in real quick?
Yes, Deputy Chief Bradford, certainly.
The best analogy I can make is the Baltimore City consent decree. That was an unfunded mandate from the federal government. And of course, the city had to come up with budget items. I think because the Baltimore City police budget was so big, some things came from there, but certainly it was something that Baltimore City had to wrestle with. So I don't know if that's something you might want to dig into to take a look at Baltimore City, but that was an unfunded mandate that police departments I can think of go through.
Okay. Thank you, Deputy Chief.
Thank you very much. I don't have any further questions.
Okay, thank you. I see we're at 4:26, so we're running ahead of schedule. If there are no more questions, but at this time, are we ready to vote on this piece of legislation? I'm assuming we are, because there are no more questions. And at this time, I would entertain a motion to recommend favorably to our councilpersons R-15-22 in support of Anne Arundel County Coalition for Police Accountability recommendations.
So
I make a motion. Oh, second. Thank you.
All in favor? Oh, I'm sorry. All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed? No. The ayes have it, 2-1, and this will be recommended favorably to our entire council. Thank you all so much. Moving on, we're running again ahead of schedule. Is Chief Simmons available for our Office of Community Services presentation?
Good afternoon, Madam Chair and committee members, O'Neill.
Good afternoon.
Jay, how are you guys?
Good.
Okay. So do I have Ms. Erin Lee and Ms. Erica Griswold on board as well?
Yes, I'm here. Erin Lee, social work care coordinator.
And we have Erica Griswold, so I guess we can go forth with the presentation. I'm Kevin Simmons. I am the interim supervisor of the Office of Community Services. And this presentation is going to be an update on the operations of the Office of Community Services. You will hear directly from Ms. Erin Lee and Ms. Erica Griswold, the two individuals who make that office run. Can you go to the first slide, please? So I'm hoping that Julian has the first slide in a slide presentation to get up and running.
Chief, who did you send the slideshow to?
Erin?
Mm-hmm. So yes, I sent a link to Julian as well as to you as well, Ms. Green.
When did you send it? Because I don't have it. And Julian's not working the meeting, so we have to send it to Madeline.
Sure. Okay, I can share it. To whom can I share the link with?
You can send it to me.
Sure.
Please, thank you.
So while we dealing with our technical difficulties, Aaron and Erica, if you all want to start saying a little something about the office.
Oh, sure. I'm Erica Griswold. I am the Community Services Coordinator for the Office of Community Service. I began this position in June of 2021. So I am coming up on a year in this position, but I've been working for the city of Annapolis for 2 years. 2 years. The presentation is going to really represent what it is that we do and how we serve our residents here in the city of Annapolis in great detail. So Erin, you wanna?
Yes. I wanna, just one comment I wanna make, Ms. Griswold. I think it's extremely important for you to let everyone know that you do have a professional health background. I believe you're a nurse.
Yes, ma'am.
I think that's extremely important for the position that you now hold. Thank you.
Yes. Yes, I'm sorry. I actually removed that, all the women Pendel Charles from the presentation because I just didn't think that it was, but yes, I did. I am a nurse and I have not practiced since 2014, but yes, I still hold my license and I still know that background. Yes, ma'am.
And that is never removed from your brain?
Never removed from my brain, no.
All right, that's extremely important. I want you to add that to the presentation when you get a chance.
Okay.
Thank you.
From the front of health, can I speak with Erin?
Okay, I do apologize. Tiki, do you happen to have the link now?
Yeah, we're getting it up for you now.
Okay, thank you.
And Aaron, why don't you take a second to introduce yourself as well?
Sure, thank you. And thank you everyone for having us come to present. My name is Erin Lee. I'm the Social Work Care Coordinator for the Office of Community Services. And, just as my title entails, I am a social worker, and one of my main jobs is to help connect, Annapolis city residents to local, county, and state resources. Whether it be helping folks out with, say, rental assistance, energy assistance, or even mental health resources during this time. Oh, and I see that we have our slides up. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. If you could go to the first slide, please. Okay, the Office of Community Services, the current organizational structure from 2020 to 2022, basically three-person operation. You had the assistant city manager who was a supervisor of the office. You had the social work care coordinator, which is Aaron Lee, and they had the community services care coordinator, which is Erica Griswold. So can you go to the next slide, please? So the Office of Community Services has a modest budget. Their FY22 budget, one that we're in, noted vehicles at $7,000, contractual services at $19,750. No telephone budget, supplies $1,250, training, education, and mileage $1,750, and special projects $3,000. Next slide, please. So I'm gonna turn it over to Social Work Care Coordinator Erin Lee, and a little bit about Erin. She has a master's degree in social work, University of Maryland, Baltimore. She has a bachelor's degree in psychology from Morgan State University, and she previously worked in Baltimore and Washington, D.C. So Erin, I'll turn it over to you.
All righty, thank you very much. If we can go to the next slide, please. Sure, so just some general information about the Office of Community Services. Currently, we have 2 offices. One is located in Robinwood, and the other one is located in the Harbor House neighborhoods. Our typical office hours are from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Residents are definitely more than welcome if they'd like to call us, if they'd like to meet earlier or later than 4 o'clock. We do like to be flexible for the community because we do know not everyone has a 9-to-5 schedule and not everyone can meet at, during certain times when offices are open. So we do like to stay flexible. They can also, so residents, and that would be for our Robinwood location. Residents can also drop in during business hours, but for the Eastport location / Harbor House, we do like for residents to meet us by appointment, and that would just be the call first before coming over. Next slide, please. So our Office of Community Services, well, what kind of services do we provide? What exactly does that mean? So just for example, in the city of Annapolis, before the Office of Community Services was created, it had about 3 different services. One of which is the Winter Warming Relief Program that was at the Stanton Center, a very crucial program, especially during this past couple months, just with the cold that we've been feeling, and it's definitely a needed resource. We also have the Annapolis Department Reentry Program, which is jobs and job training, and also the Food Insecurity Program, which is also known as Food Fridays, something that I've been participating with for quite some time, and I've just been very proud to be a part of as well. Next slide, please. And typically, as the chain of command goes, the flow of the referral services go would be for Annapolis residents seen there. They can go to the Office of Community Services and they can be referred to the 3 different services that the city of Annapolis provides. Next slide, please. So now that the Office of Community Services is here, examples of the types of services that we provide are referrals to local, county, and state resources. And we're also very proud to say that we do offer wraparound services, which includes case management, community outreach, crisis care, and also family support. We do offer more as things change throughout the community. I know Erica, she's been a great advocate for residents, in Annapolis. That's something that I do as well. We may advocate, say with property managers, for example, in order to help residents get their apartments issues fixed. We also may be someone who is a service coordinator. So say, for example, if a resident needs multiple things, such as rental assistance, energy assistance, tutoring for their children, that's something that we can help, pull to them. Next slide, please. And so this is just a brief visual talking about the wraparound services. And so here we have, folks coming to our offices. They can call, they can email. We have a link with our webpage, which we'll be showing in just a bit. And they can come to our Office of Community Services, and we do provide that care coordination. We also have that community outreach to let the neighborhoods know that we are out here. And also with crisis care as well, just in helping residents who may have gone through disasters such as a house fire or even with the most recent tornado we've had. I know myself and Erica, we were there at the crisis center doing intakes, talking with residents, seeing how we could help, during such an overwhelming time for so many residents. Next slide, please.
So our next presenter is the Community Service Coordinator, Erica Griswold. She's Alumni Leadership, Anne Arundel Neighborhood Leadership, Anne Arundel County, Certified Mentor Leadership, Toastmasters, Leadership Academy in Silver Spring. She has an AA degree, Anne Arundel Community College, and it's a nursing degree, by the way. And she's very, very proud of that. And she's worked in Annapolis and Washington, D.C. I'll turn it over to you, Erica.
Thank you. So next slide, please. Okay, I'm going to be describing some of the services, what we provide, providing the services versus the service referrals. So providing services is directly rendering a human or social service to community residents through a City of Annapolis agency or program. That will be a example of that would be ACDS, giving assistance for rental assistance. They would provide the service and we would refer them. Service referral, using a referral process to indirectly render a human or social service to community residents, typically through a non-City of Annapolis agency or program. And just like the example that I just gave, but that would be ACDS, and there's many other services that we refer our residents to. Next slide, please. So the examples of the referral services is the Department of Social Services. We get a lot of residents that walk in just saying that their benefits have been, cut off and they need some assistance to fill out the application. And we would just sit here and assist them in that process. The Anne Arundel County Department of Aging and Disabilities, they provide home health care. So anytime we get a resident that's an elderly resident that needs some assistance at home, we would reach out to the Department of Aging and set that up for them. The Anne Arundel County Department of Health, it's the same thing. If residents need a copy of their birth certificate or things like that, we would reach out to this Department of Health and then make an appointment for them to get their birth certificates. And most recently, we reached out to another agency to see if they could provide gift cards to assist the resident to pay for that service. Of course, one of them is the Housing Authority of the City of Annapolis. Our resource centers is located on 2 of the properties of the Housing Authority. So we serve a lot of their residents just because we're present in the neighborhood. Salvation Army and Red Cross, they're huge. They provide us with all kinds of rental assistance and energy assistance and gift cards and clothing. They're a huge asset to our office as well. Community Action Agency is a huge asset to the office as well. And Arundel Community Development Services, that's what I mentioned earlier. They're the service. They've been huge in rental assistance, energy assistance, and finding low-income housing. Next slide, please. Service to the City of Annapolis. Since the creation of the Office of Community Services in 2021, OCS has assisted in referring 200 Annapolis residents with local, county, and state resources. A majority of the calls for assistance that we received are for rental, home repair, and mental health services for the residents and those residents with disabilities. When we say the residents and the residents with disabilities, because there is very much a difference, and the difference is that when we assist the ones with disabilities, they require a more hands-on peer-to-peer service. So it requires us to actually meet them at their homes and then provide them that one-on-one service assistance that they need. Next slide, please. And this is just another visual example of the referring services, referring to other services. They would come into our office, and these are some of the agencies that we refer out to, and it would be the Anne Arundel County. They are huge and a big help. The Salvation Army, American Red Cross, they were a huge partner in the tornado crisis. They were huge in assisting us. Like I said, Community Action Agency, another Anne Arundel County, and then ACDS as well. Next slide, please. So with the OCS, we do have a wellness van, which we are super proud of. I am personally proud of this van because it has been out in the community, not so much now, but we're gearing up this summer. So this is just some of the tools of the OCS, wellness van. We've done Narcan distribution, where we would go to different communities and hand out Narcan. We did community resource days. We gave away hygiene kits over the summer. We stuffed them with book bags. We partnered with other nonprofit organizations and gave away hygiene kits. It was awesome. We did the All-Star game every year. The All-Stars, the drug-free All-Stars have a huge game down at the Pitt Moyer, and the mayor's office and the OCS partner with them and play them. We lose, but we play them. And it's always a good game. It's family out and fun, music and food, and it's awesome. We did the book bag giveaway, and we also did pop-up resource days. And those pop-up days, we would just create a day and just show up in each community planned. We stay there for 2 hours and then offer the resources. And those resources can range from all of the partnerships that I mentioned earlier. We just have them stocked on our resource van. Another thing about our mobile van, when we do, we have an awning, which you see there in the picture. That awning can come out, and there's a big, huge TV on there as well. We can attach that TV to there and then plug up our laptop and then show all kinds of resources, all kinds of presentations and things to engage the community, and they love it. Next slide, please. So this is just a snapshot of the website that we have. Our website is up and running, and thank you to Director Simmons has came in and offered that structure to us. We have been looking forward to getting some structure to the office and getting some website and some presence. And this is one. We are now live. It is a very interactive website. Each link that you click is interactive. If you need the service, you can fill out the form right there. Soon as you do that, when you click the link, Aaron and I would get back to the residents within 24 hours. So that is the website there. You go to annapolis.gov and then /community. Next slide, please. And these are just some testimonials from Annapolis residents, and I will pass it over to Erin.
Right, thank you, Erica. So yes, if it would be all right with everyone, I'd like to read off about 3 different testimonials. And these are Annapolis residents who we have helped, help with interventions, help with connecting with resources, also helped with wraparound services as well in order to meet each resident's needs. So for the first one, for R, I'll just read off the testimonial she provided. Greetings and salutations. I wanted to thank Aaron and Erica of the Office of Community Services for helping me to get into a new home after a house fire destroyed everything I had. On the day of the fire, I ran out of it in just my pajamas. I met with Red Cross, and then I met with Aaron, who helped me to find a temporary hotel stay, clothing, and food. Erica and Aaron also helped in keeping my spirits up when we ran into some trouble while applying for an emergency housing voucher. A few months later, I was able to move into a new home. I know without their help, I might be on the streets. Thank you so much, OCS. So second one is for D. And as I met with Aaron and Erica during a home visit. At first, I was nervous about the situation, but Erica and Aaron were very reassuring and let me know that they were here to help. I appreciate the help with my energy bill, and Aaron helped when I was working with HACA about rental issues. And every now and then, I still reach out to Aaron and Erica whenever I have any questions about local services to help my neighbors. And our last one would be for A. And just a little background about that info. This particular story was also featured in the Maryland Gazette. The night that I lost my home in a fire was terrifying, but OCS helped so much in getting everything back together. Aaron helped in putting out a call for donations and would deliver them to my temporary home. She also checked in with me and my family. If I had a need, she would do our best to get connected to the right people. I appreciate OCS so much. Next slide, please. Sure. So this would be our proposed next steps in building an office of community services of the future. So through providing a strong foundation for OCS through establishing a mission, vision, and goals, develop a clear scope of the essential job duties for each position, identify a multitude of human and social service resource options to Annapolis residents, evaluate and implement the appropriate compensation plan for each position. Something very important is building a social media presence. That's how we let the world know we exist. We also would like to establish agreements and MOUs with other nonprofit agencies. And we also want to codify the office, which is also very important as well. And we project that we would like to finish the mission, vision, and goals by next budget. Next slide, please. So just a little joke for everyone who where documentation is key. For example, our office does run on data and evidence-driven community work. And of course, if it's not documented, it didn't happen. And that is just so important to make sure that not only are we documenting the stories of Annapolis residents, that's also another way that we can advocate for them, fill in the gaps where services might be needed, all that through documentation and talking with our residents. And last, in God we trust, but for everybody else, provide data and documentation, which once again is so important. And that's something that we would like to show via the data and documentation, just how needed this office is and how much support we'd like in order to grow it and grow into other neighborhoods throughout Annapolis. Next slide, please. So that concludes our presentation. Thank you very much, everyone, for your time. And if anyone has any questions, we'd be more than happy to answer.
Thank you so much, Office of Community Services. You all are doing an exceptional job. That's very obvious. And you have a great game plan, and your interim director is wonderful. He knows that. And I'm going to say it, as I always said, publicly and privately. But anyway, getting that structure in place has been huge. And we just thank you all. And Erin, Erica, I definitely want you to add that to your resume. That is extremely important in the work that you do. Nursing is, as you know, a very respected position, and wherever you are, healthcare is extremely important. And that's certainly a realm in which you're working in for us as a city. And we're just so blessed to have both you and Erin here on our team. Couple of things. As you know, we're looking at probably this summer doing some things revolving around Annapolis United, and that would be community events and activities. Erica, you might remember several years ago before the pandemic, I know Mr. Ajayi was going from community to community having presentations when the substance use disorder was being addressed by the city at that time. And that is something hopefully that you all can help us with, along with the mayor's office, to do the same sort of thing in every community or a lot of communities this summer, because we really want to get the word out on many different levels, whether it's community services, whether it's substance use disorder, whether it's COVID, whether it's stop the violence. We want that presence. And once you have that one-stop shop for our residents, I think it's huge. And I know it worked extremely well a couple of years ago. So we're hopefully looking for you all to help us. As far as your website is concerned, I clicked every link and read it. And it is amazing. It covers the waterfront, and I know that will grow as time goes on, as you come up with more and more resources for our city and everybody gets to know you even better. The testimonials are huge. That's directly coming, if not a survey, that's as close as you can get to one. And so I'm just so glad that you are keeping the data, because that's extremely important when we get to the next issue of codifying your office. And we'll know when that time will be once you've got your mission, vision, and goals in place. And as I meet with Director Simmons every other week, so we definitely are looking forward to that codification, because I know it's extremely important, because we need your connectors. That we do need, and our residents need that, because we can't always navigate what's out there. It's there, but navigating is extremely important, and then it gets frustrating. And so you all are there as those persons who can help our residents, as well as everyone else within the city government as well. So we thank you so very much for all you do, and thank you, Director Simmons, for all you do, for, as we say in church, for stepping in the gap when we really needed you, and that is extremely important. So anyway, Alderwoman O'Neill.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. I appreciate the program that you all submitted for us in the slides. It was really helpful to kind of see, knowing both of you mostly through Food Fridays. I love to see all the additional interaction that you're doing. I have a couple questions for you today, not very long. My one question is, many times I've had residents reach out to me with a specific problem, and I've either called Erin or sent her a message. Is that the preference, or would you prefer that I sent residents directly to your website for them to navigate through?
Sure. So I know in the past, I definitely appreciated when you called or when you referred folks to my number or my email, because that was a great way of following up with them too. And that was before we had our website. In the future, we would love nothing more than folks to come to our website. If you could refer them to our website so they can go there directly. There's a form they can also fill out as well, which will go directly to mine and Erica's email. So it will pop up instantly once they put out that request. So
that's great.
Yeah, so, please make use of our website. It's there. Ina Young did such a great job with working with us, and we're very proud of it.
Great. Would it be possible to get business card size cards printed with that website and your names on it, so that council members could have them in our pockets, so that when we are out and about? I would also ask that I was able to give them to volunteers for Food Friday. I know that's very specific, but I often have my volunteers who are drivers, calling or texting me saying, Mrs. So-and-so at this address, told me this. And it would be great if my drivers had the ability to say, you know what, you really should call or contact Erin and Erica. And I see Director Simmons nodding his head, so we can get that going. Thank you very much. And last, I know that a week or so ago we met and toured the Oberry Court College Creek Community Center, and I would love your help in trying to move something there forward, whether it was just the resource library. I know that you can't staff it at this time, but working on that resource library and working on an opportunity to offer some of those programs that we had discussed. We talked about maybe some, career choice and home ownership, or how to build a resume, those types of things. And I'm guessing that that's through your department?
So I did visit the community center after you guys, Alderwoman O'Neill, because you guys went and I wasn't there that day.
You had a grandbaby, I think.
Yes. So I did visit there as a follow-up, and spoke to the property manager there and the young lady who does all of the events. Her and I had a meeting. We tried to come up with a sort of strategy or plan on how we're going to partner together and have these. She did tell me that you guys, what you guys talked about, and the ideas that you had, and they're very open to it. So I told her that I'm here. Of course, I'm going to step right in and help out, because the community, she spoke about the challenges. Well, I don't like to use challenge. The opportunity of growth that she's having in that community, because a lot of the residents just don't use it, or they're not just interested. So I told her that we could come up with a good strategy, and, you know, because, you know, I have that relationship with those residents there, that we would get them more involved. So because of that, they're going to have a Easter egg hunt, and she's going to partner with one of the community leaders, and that's going to be the first merge of trying to get engagement there in that community. So yes.
Great, thank you so much. I look forward to partnering with you as well as we move forward.
Of course.
I think it's a really great opportunity.
Yeah, me too.
Thank you. Thank you for your time today.
Yes, you're welcome. Thank you.
Alderman Gay, do you have any questions or comments?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. I appreciate it. I appreciate the presentation. This is my second time, but a lot has changed in the last 30 days. I think it's almost been 30 days since we last met. I'm pleased to see the website. I'm excited Ina was able to help develop that over at MIT. And I will be using the link now instead of directly emailing you all. So that is beneficial to us all. I'm also pleased because I've been in communication with some constituents, and I understand that Erica's partnered with or brought in some nonprofits there over to the Eastport Resource Center. And I've seen the photos. They've invited me to come out. Hopefully I can be there tomorrow. I think I'm supposed to be there tomorrow at 11 if the scheduling works out. But I'm excited to see what they have to offer. I've seen they got the literature and you know, some physical resources that residents can take out, which was so important to me. And I'm excited about that because I've always, and I don't know about my colleagues, but I've always envisioned the Office of Community Services either directly managing or working very closely with the resource centers because it's directly in our communities and residents can walk in and receive the services that they would receive from community services there. That's the purpose of that. And so I'm thrilled to see that. As it relates to the mission and the objectives that are there, I'm excited to read a draft. My recommendation, and not that anyone wouldn't consider this, though, would just be to keep the community in mind and the people that you'll be working with in mind when crafting the verbiage for this mission and goals, because I think that'll be critical. And so, quick question as it relates to that. Will we see a draft before it's brought to the council so that we can have a chance to just discuss and not have open discussion and dialogue on the floor? Is that possible?
I don't see why not. We get together every Friday, and I would say that we're 50% through this. We still have a little bit more to go, but I have no problem sharing.
Okay, that'd be great. And I don't need to like see, you know, an advanced copy or whatever, just whenever you all are finished, that would be great to just be able to run my eyes over. And not that I am directing staff or will direct staff on what to put in. I would just, you know, like to make a recommendation. Also, I had questions as it related to the budget and how the Office of Community Services will be able to use funds. Can that be, without maybe going into too much detail, obviously, because I think we'll have you all before us at one of the budget meetings, but can we, I've seen just quickly some numbers there, which to be honest, didn't seem sufficient for the level of work that they're doing. And so will there be additional requests in this upcoming budget? Maybe give us a tiny preview?
I would say that I can answer that question a little bit better. Not this week, but next week. I have a meeting with the city manager, and this is on the agenda to discuss. So I think I'll meet with him by next Thursday, and I can have an idea of the budget and how the office is going to move forward.
That's great. And I would just ask, swing for the fences, really, you know, because I think, I don't know, I think whatever the staff needs, please bring to us. Even if you think, oh, we might not have it in the budget to make that work, we might be able to. We might be able to put something together or spread resources out differently. And I think it's important because, again, you all are all in the community every day, directly interfacing with our constituents. And that's so, so important. Two other quick questions, and then I'll wrap it up. As it relates to budget or staff positions, what will the acts be in the upcoming budget? I know I've seen a request for an additional, I think, social worker. Will that social worker be managing the department, or how are we crafting this office so that it can be, as mentioned, codified, and so that it will be difficult really to tamper with in the future?
So again, I would say I can answer that question better after I meet with the city manager. I need to see what he has in mind for the office. I floated some of my ideas, but again, he has the last word in this, and we will be discussing this probably a week from Thursday.
So that's great, and won't rush anything there. Look forward to just seeing what comes from that. And then my last kind of question / statement is as it relates to partnerships with either nonprofit or community services. I think there needs to be thorough, I don't want to use the word investigation, but research into organizations that we plan to partner with. If organizations aren't in the community, if they aren't present physically at an office or location where constituents can walk in and seek services, if it takes 8 weeks to get a response back from outreach coordinators with said organizations, we shouldn't be partnering with them. We want to be able to provide the best services for our constituents. And I think that should do with what you've been doing recently, not what we've known you to do. It's what are you doing? What have you done for us lately? That's what people said. And so I get that there are some longstanding community service, nonprofit, and organizations here within the community, and we'd like to partner with them because they have the history, but it's a new day, and people want to be able to connect and understand who they're working with. And so when we partner with these organizations and nonprofits, my ask, because again, I'm an older person, I can't make a demand to staff, but my ask is that we make sure that they're in the community, that they're connected, and they know what's going on. What you have here is going to work because you're in the community every day. Erica is super plugged in. She knows what's going on in the streets. Aaron has the resources, and he's brought the skills to help kind of push this forward. It's going to work, but we just have to stick with it and stick with those who are working in our communities. And so that's my only thing. I think this is fantastic. Kevin, you've done a really, really good job. I was skeptical about it coming to the Office of Emergency Management because I really didn't want it to get lost in the sauce, but you've done a really, really, really good job. And I'm pleased to see what the future holds. And that's just my ask. Please keep that in the back of the heads, but this was great.
So I got two things for the alderman, if I can. Number one is, when you're talking about these agencies, are you talking in general, or do you have a particular agency in mind?
Well, I don't want to put anybody on Front Street in the middle of the meeting, but I can talk to you offline about that, definitely.
That's a good idea.
And the second thing is that the Office of Community Services is not in the Office of Emergency Management. I am the interim supervisor. So it's two separate agencies there. I wanted to make sure everybody understands that.
My apologies about that, but just thank you for supervising in the interim because it's gone well.
Thanks.
Thank you, Alderman Gay. And Alderman Gay, I'm gonna tell you, I did not have any trepidation when I heard that the Office of Emergency Management was going to be temporarily supervising the Office of Community Services. I knew, knowing Director Simmons as I do, and seeing how he works, I had no trepidation whatsoever how it was going to work out. And I knew it was not going to drop by the wayside, because Director Simmons doesn't want anything half done, and I'm going to not use the A word, on his watch. That is not him at all. If he has to stay up all night long to get it done and make sure it's done and pushes whatever buttons and whoever he needs to push to get it done, he's going to do it, because he doesn't want that on his watch. So I'm going to say I was not surprised. In fact, I was pleasantly pleased when I heard that was going to happen. And he and I've had many discussions about this, and he knows how I feel about it. But thank you so very much. Couple of things. As far as organizations or agencies that aren't, for lack of a better term, are pulling their weight, and you all have heard me say this many times, people jump on a train that's moving. Train to stop, people jumping off. They see a train that's moving as the Office of Community Services. Oftentimes, that makes other passengers step up their game. I don't really want to put a mark on any organization or agency at this point. As far as I'm concerned, it's a new day, it's a new page, it's a new train. And so if they think that they can offer something to our city, so be it. We all know we've all got our own talents. Some we can't minimize or make small. There may be an agency that can only deliver one service, but it may be critical. There may be another agency who can deliver 10 and do an extremely good job. So my thing is, we will start from the beginning. This is a great way to start from the beginning. But if they do not pull their weight after a period of time, then we will definitely reevaluate it. But as far as I'm concerned, everybody's eligible. Everybody is eligible to get on the train. But if you can't pull your weight, then you're gonna have to get off the train. So at this point, let's not negate any organizations at all. Next thing is, I would suspect that based on Ms. Lee being with us since November of 2020 and Ms. Griswold being with us for 2 years as well, the goals, mission, and vision will emerge pretty much organically, because you all have been out there, and as Alderman Gay said, you all each lend great talents to this Office of Community Services. So I would assume that those 3 things, mission, vision, and goals, will not be difficult in coming up with. It has emerged its way. And Aaron and Erica, again, Ms. Griswold and Ms. Lee, put your alphabet soup behind your name no matter where you go. On your cards, on your website, if you have to plaster it on your forehead, do it. And I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna say it in the spirit in which it is given. For us as African Americans, people need to know what we've got, because so often, or too often than not, people assume certain things. And, just being an attorney, people invariably ask me, what law school did you go to? And I say Maryland. They go, Maryland? It's a surprise. And so I want everyone to know the alphabet soup behind your name. That gives you instant credibility. And so often we don't like to put ourselves in that sort of position, like we're waving our own flags. But sometimes we have to, because the other thing is it gives others momentum to do something. They'll see Ms. Lee and Ms. Griswold out in the community and go, what does that mean? And then you explain it to them. And they'll say, well, I want to do that. What do I have to do? So it's not you putting yourself above everybody else. It's a teachable moment for those who come across you, whether it's adults or whether it's children. It's extremely important, especially for youth, to know who you are, what you do, what your capabilities are. Your educational background is extremely important, and I can't press it enough. So thank you all. I see we have Alderwoman Tierney on the line visually. If she has any questions, and then I'll go to Director Simmons for any closing remarks.
No, I don't. I had the luxury of having a presentation before with Alderman Gay, but as always, you know how much I appreciate what you do. I do want to ditto though Alderwoman O'Neill's request for the cards. That's an excellent idea for reach out in all wards. So thank you for that question, Karma.
Thank you. Director Simmons, you have any closing remarks?
So the cards, that's an easy one. When we meet this Friday, we can certainly do the design of the cards and put something out, and we have enough money in the budget to get that done. That's not a problem. So just as we talked about for the whole presentation, this is a work in progress. We're trying to think outside of the box. We're trying to set up this office so it can propel into the future, giving it a good foundation. So whoever winds up supervising this office can have the latitude to build it to where it needs to be. So I'm honored to be the interim. And if you have any issues or problems or questions or concerns, certainly reach out to me.
Thank you, Director. Anything else for the good of the order? Going once, going twice. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
We are 5:15 adjournment. Thank you all so very much. Enjoy the rest of your day.